Hey guys, I'm Lori and welcome to class. Today I've got a class designed for you to help you if you have any stiffness in your lower back, any pain, stiffness in your hips, if you have any problems sleeping. All these poses are going to help those things. And on top of that, these are poses that are going to help you sleep better. So grab all the props that you have, blocks, maybe a rolled up blanket, maybe even an extra mat, and meet me on your mat. We'll see you in a few. Hey guys, I'm Lori and welcome to class. Today we've got some yin for you. There's poses that will help relieve any lower back pain, help you with any hip stiffness, and also will help you sleep better at night. So grab all the props that you have, blocks, blankets, extra yoga mats, and meet me on the mat. Hey guys, so our first pose is going to be cross-legged seated position. So if you feel like your hips are tight, or if you're feeling any stiffness anywhere from your lower back, your hips, even your knees, I want you to grab a block or anything that you're using in place of a yoga block, maybe even a rolled up extra yoga mat or a folded up blanket, anything that you can use that you can sit on, because anytime you can get your hips up higher than your knees, it's going to really make the pose feel that much better. You'll get into the pose a lot easier, which will mean as we are in the pose, you're gonna get a better stretch if you use the props that your body needs. So grab whatever you have, use whatever you need. So listen to your body. It's so important to just maybe close your eyes and really just feel where you're at. There's no rush here. So we're gonna be in each pose for maybe a minute or two. So take your time in getting comfortable in the pose and just get quiet so that you can listen to your body, you can listen to how you talk to yourself, and you can really find a meditative state in each pose, okay? So any cross-legged position that's natural for you, so whichever ankle is in front, that's cool, okay? Whether you're sitting on your block, a blanket, whatever, or you're straight on your mat. So you wanna get up nice and tall, take an inhale, close your eyes, and with the exhale, just bring your hands out in front of you, and you'll start to walk the hands forward. So take your time. Like I said, you don't wanna just flatten right into the pose. Just feel it out, walk it in, or I should say walk it out. And we'll be here for about a minute. And maybe just gently press into the palms of your hand. If you're folded forward, press into the palms of your hands to press your hips back, to keep the weight in the back of your hips. But try to release any engagement in the legs. So if you notice that your thighs are engaged, try to let that go. So the weight of your legs are doing the work for you. All the poses that we do today should really be done with, believe it or not, less effort. So maybe the challenge for you today is learning to let go of effort and just let the stretch naturally happen. Let it just feel natural and good rather than worrying about what it should look like, how far you should be in your stretch. I'm gonna give it one more inhale. And exhale, slowly walk the hands back. Then we're going to change the crossing of the legs. So this might feel a little bit unnatural for you on the second side. Same thing, palms on the mat. We're going to slowly start to walk the hands forward. Just coming down into what feels good, and also take notice that your sides are different. And where you might have gone on the first side, you might not go on the second. And really the focus is just to close your eyes, get quiet, get still, pay attention to the breath practice.
And really just releasing and letting go, learning to let go of what's not serving you right now. Pressing into the palms to keep the weight back in the hips. And we're going to give it one more inhale.
And with your exhale, you'll slowly walk the hands back up to seated. And we're going to take the soles of the feet together. And once the soles of the feet are together, draw the heels in close to the groin. You can maybe clasp your toes, sit up nice and tall. So if you notice you're rounding in the back, you want to get it nice and tall so that the shoulders are above the hips and the hips are upright rather than tilted back. So from your hip joint to the crest of your hip, you want to get it nice and tall. So again, you can stay seated up on whatever prop you're using, and that can help you really feel good in this pose. Wherever you're at, you're getting up nice and tall, keeping the hips in that upward position. And you can stay right here and just let the legs be heavy. Release any engagement in the legs. Close your eyes. And then if you want to fold forward, if you feel like you have more stretch in you, that will still allow you to remain calm and quiet and peaceful inside, you can start to lead with your chest. So avoid rounding through the spine. Keep a straight spine. Keep that forward or upward tilt in the hips and start to lean the chest forward. You can maybe even walk the hands forward. So with each breath, maybe start to let go of any fear, any judgments that you might have about the pose. And invite some love and compassion for yourself and your body while you're here. And just being completely happy with a nice gentle stretch. One more inhale. Exhale slowly. If you're folded forward, come back up to seated. We're going to keep the right foot right where it is. And I'm going to turn just a little. And take the left foot out to the side. So now the right sole of the foot remained right where it was when we were in butterfly. Take the left hand out and grab either the calf, the ankle, or the toes. Keep the chest lifted. Reach the right arm up. And then reach over towards your left toes. You want to keep both sitting bones rooted down so that you're just getting a really nice stretch along the right side of your body through the rib cage, through that right hip. One more inhale. Then back up to center and then replace the left foot right where it was in your butterfly pose. Take the right leg out to the right. Then the right hand to the calf, the ankle, or the toes. Left arm reaches up and reach over towards the right toes. One more inhale. Exhale, coming back up to center. We're going to take it to a little bit deeper hip opening, so hip opener. So again, if you want to stay up on your prop, or if you want to grab a prop, we're going to go into square pose, fire log, double pigeon. We're going to start with your left shin on the mat so that the shin is parallel to the top of your mat. Right shin right on top. If this is too much, again, try your prop. So sometimes propping, sitting up on something will really help open up the hips and let you feel the pose in a lot more gentle way. Or you can take the right shin in front of the left. So whatever suits you tonight, today, this afternoon, this morning, whatever it is for you. You're gonna sit up nice and tall. And then again, nice and slow, we can bring the hands out in front and then slowly walk it forward. Maybe you can stay seated nice and tall. Whatever feels good for you in the moment. Remember, just letting go of any judgments, of any fears, of any expectations of where you should be in this pose. And allow yourself to feel peaceful where you're at. And, you know, peace, being at peace, doesn't mean that you are without any kind of struggles. I think peace really means that you have love and compassion present within you. We'll give it one more inhale. And exhale, slowly coming back up to a seated. We're gonna change legs. So now the right shin will be on the mat so that the shin is parallel to the top of the mat. Left shin right on top. Sit up nice and tall, take a big inhale. Stay seated up tall. If this is enough for you, just close your eyes. If you want a little bit more, close your eyes, palms out in front of the shins, and start to walk the hands forward. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly start to walk yourself back up to seated. So I'm going to turn and face the side. And we're just going to take the legs straight out in front. Take a nice big inhale. Again, you want to get that upward tilt in the hips. So if you're folded and rounded through the spine, get up nice and tall. Again, you can always use the props to stay seated on top of whatever prop you're using. Get the hips up high. So inhale with a straight spine, sitting up nice and tall. Stay here if that's enough for the hamstrings. And if you want more, you're gonna exhale and slowly start to walk the hands forward. You're leading with the chest. So think of when a plane lands, it lands with the back wheels first. Think of the back wheels as your belly and the chest going forward so that you keep that forward tilt in the hips and you're going forward, forward, forward. And then release the ankles though. So here, because we're gonna be here for about a minute, we just wanna relax it. It's a nice gentle stretch. And then once you get as forward as you wanna go, that feels nice and good, you're gonna drop your head. Close your eyes, focus on yourself. Focus on what the body's feeling. Focus on noticing what words you use when you talk to yourself. And trying to stay positive with your words, because probably the words that you speak to yourself are the most important. One more inhale. And exhale, slowly come back up to seated. So now we're going to go into a pretty big hip opener. So we're going to go into squat pose, malasana. So It doesn't matter how long I practice yoga, I will never get my heels on the mat, I think. So I'm gonna use a rolled up mat. And we're all gonna take our feet as wide, about as wide as our mat, but we want them wider than our hips. I need to put my heels up on the mat, and we're gonna come into a squat. Hands at heart center, sitting up nice and tall. Now you can also use, if you're sitting up on a block or any kind of prop for your seated poses, you can always just sit on the block. So your block would be right where my mat is, and you're just seated on that or seated on that. You could also take your back up to the wall and relax your back up on the wall. But Malasana is a great pose to work on actually tightening your core, working on digestion, getting deep into the hips, the knees. Just a few more breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly, I'm gonna bring my hands behind my mat, sit down behind my mat, and move it. So wherever you came out of the pose, we're gonna find our way onto our backs. We're gonna come into half happy baby. So we'll take the right foot or left foot down to the mat. Take your right leg straight up into the air so that the ankle, the knee, and the hip are in alignment. And you're gonna start to bend your knee and draw your knee towards your shoulder. Right hand will grab outside your right calf, the ankle, or the foot. You're gonna pull your knee in towards the right armpit. Thigh is right by the rib cage. And you can keep your left leg bent, or you can work on stretching the front of the hip flexors right there in the left thigh or hip, and straighten the left leg down your mat. Just a couple breaths here. Two more breaths. One more inhale. And exhale, release. Bring the right foot to the mat and the left foot above the knee and the hip. And then we'll start to bend the left knee, drawing the left knee in towards the armpit. The left hand grabs outside your calf, the ankle, or the foot, and you're reaching and drawing the knee in towards your left armpit and the thigh by your rib cage. Now you can keep your right knee bent or start to straighten the right leg to get a stretch in the front of the right hip into that hip flexor. One more inhale. And exhale, release. Bring both thighs into your belly. Wrap your arms around your shins. And give it a little roll left and right. So now our final pose, we'll take the feet down to the mat, but take them pretty wide, about as wide as your mat. Let the knees fall over to the left. And let that right leg really fall in. So you're getting internal rotation now. And if you want with the left ankle, you can place that to the outside of your right thigh for just a little bit more extra weight. Getting that stretch and that twist in there on the right side. But if it's too much, just take your left ankle off of your right thigh and just take it nice and easy. One more inhale. And exhale back to center. And then we'll take our knees over to the right. So let the legs get heavy there for a second, or maybe more than a second. And feel that out. And then maybe if you want more, you'll take your right ankle to the outside of your left thigh. And you're gonna let the weight of the right leg kind of give an extra stretch there to the left hip. One more inhale. And exhale back to center. And then we'll set up for our Shavasana. So let the legs go straight. Close your eyes. Arms down by your sides, palms face up. If you want to use your props again for this Shavasana to make yourself nice and comfortable, if you had a blanket or you had a rolled up mat, you can always put it underneath your knees. And that can be nice and comfortable. Or you can put your blanket on top of your waist, your hips, and your legs for that extra weight. Sometimes that feels good. Say hello. I am actually going to leave you here, but I want you to get comfortable in your Shavasana. And please stay for a couple minutes, really enjoying that stretch that you just got. Meditating just a little bit more in your Shavasana. Staying in your Shavasana for a few more minutes. Allow your body to melt into your mat. Finding some peace and gratitude for your practice. Peace, namaste.